Hello, and welcome to Recently on Reddit, a Tiny Black Panther production. Here we explore some eye-catching posts from a number of popular subreddits. This is sort of an intro to Reddit because, trust me, there's so much more out there waiting to be discovered. So, did you know that there's no such thing as a fish? The details are too lengthy for me to get into here. You're going to have to look that one up if you want some more details. But that is today's somewhat useless and unrelated fact. And with that out of the way, let's get to the stories. And our first post today comes from r/MaliciousCompliance, posted by TheDevilAndMrJones. Middle-aged woman wouldn't sit before the yellow line. Okay. So this happened when I was younger, but I remember it well, as does my entire family who saw it. We went to a zoo, probably a Six Flags zoo, maybe the San Diego, doesn't matter. But there was a lion show and my family went. There was a big, bold yellow line and it said, "Do not sit past the yellow line," on a sign before you enter the area. So my family follows the rules, and there's this woman that today we would call a Karen. She's the only one to sit in front of the yellow line. A zookeeper comes by and says, "Ma'am, would you like to move behind the yellow line?" And Karen goes, "No, I found my spot. This is my spot." The zookeeper goes, "Okay," and leaves her there. So the show opens, the lion keepers and tamers come out and see the Karen in the front. The showrunner tells the tiger a phrase, points at the lady, and the lion shoots a stream of piss at the lady, and she runs out of the show coated in urine. The entire crowd laughs, and the show goes on without issue. Not sure if this goes here, but it's a story that my family talks about every once in a while. Edit. I was a bit wrong on the story now that I bring it up again with my brother. The lion tamer didn't direct the lion to piss. The lion, however, did pee on her since she was in front of what was deemed the splash zone. Lines are there for a reason, lady. And from r/entitledparents, I fool my stepfather to admit wrongs against me. Mom divorces him after he attacks me. This happened when I was 15. If there is a more appropriate sub for this, please let me know. My mom and dad divorced when I was 9. Soon after, my mom married my stepfather. Summers and every other Christmas were spent out of state with my dad. The rest of the time I was with my mom. They did not have the nicest of splits in the divorce, but both insisted, and kept to it, that they would not interfere with my younger brother and I, relationship with the other parents. My stepfather did not agree to this, however, and did everything he could to sabotage our relationship with our father. My dad would call, and if my stepfather answered the phone, he would hang up on Dad. He called my dad to demand more child support, or he would legally adopt us and my dad would never see us again. I had no real friends growing up because I didn't want to bring people home. One day, while visiting my dad, we ordered some custom leather jackets to arrive about a month later. It came, and I found the box on the dining room table with "Return to Center" written on it, as if he had meant to send it back later. I grabbed it, stashed it in my room, and thankfully he forgot all about it. That night after dinner, as everyone was on the couch watching the evening news, I brought the package out, gave it to my mom, and asked her to explain why it was being sent back. My stepdad began to say that we couldn't afford it, to which I said everything had already been paid for, and why did he hang up on Dad when Dad called? And I said Dad had recordings of the threats to adopt us and prevent Dad from ever seeing us again. My stepfather began spinning a tale about how he just wanted us all to be one big family, and he knew how my mom didn't like my dad, and he did everything for the sake of the family. Then he caught me smiling, stopped, and asked me, "What the heck is so funny?" I said, "Dad has no recordings, but why does he need them when you just admitted to everything?" He said something unintelligible and jumped off the couch to lunge at me until my mom stopped him by getting in between us. Mom simply said, "Out!" And he walked to the front door and let himself out. After we heard him drive away, Mom asked for the details about everything and apologized for bringing him into our lives. The next morning, I was walking to the bus for school when my stepfather quickly pulled up near me and stopped, then got out of the car and started walking towards me. I screamed like I have never screamed before or since. He got up to me, slapped me across the face, grabbed my shirt, and started walking me to his car. I didn't go peacefully, though, screaming and resisting the whole way. That's when my savior appeared, an older gentleman. He had seen everything, and he came out of his house with quite possibly the largest hand cannon I had ever seen outside of the movies. He just saw an older man dragging a screaming teen girl to his car. He told my stepdad to stop, pointed the gun at him, and told him to kneel down with his ankles crossed and to intertwine his fingers behind his head. So I believe he was former military. Isn't that how you're taught to take down prisoners? I don't know for sure. His wife had also seen everything and called the police, then came out and began soothing me. When the police arrived, 2 cars, 4 total officers, my savior put his gun down and raised his hands to show the police he meant no harm to them, and he was not a threat. His wife said that she was the one that called and said that she and her husband had seen a man pull up, grab a young girl, and begin dragging her to his car when they decided to interfere for my safety. I then confirmed the story, but did not mention he was my stepfather. The police asked for IDs and noted that my student ID, all I had at the time, had a different last name and had no sign of the name my stepfather was calling me. At the time, I went by my middle name, but my student ID had my actual first name, and I had kept my original last name, so it was different than his, despite his attempt to claim that he was my father and was just disciplining me for something. He was handcuffed and taken away to one of the cars, while the other car drove me to school. I had missed the bus by this time, where the officer went in and told the attendance office lady that I had been the victim of an attempted kidnapping, and that's why I was late. He later showed up after school to give me a ride home and stayed in the house with me until my mom got off work and came home. My brother, who was unaware of my day's adventures, came home, and my brother, the officer, and I played video games until my mom got home. My mom and stepfather later divorced. When I was at school a couple of days later, my stepfather came by the house with a police escort and my mom's supervision and got his personal stuff. My mom was later able to get a restraining order against him for herself, me, and my brother. Haven't heard from my former stepfather since. My brother still lives with his family in our hometown and saw that my savior had just passed away and decided to tell me. He told me to put my story here. I have never posted here before, so sorry if I've done something wrong. I know you're not supposed to glorify violence here, but I don't know how to tell the story without it. Thank God for that Good Samaritan. Lord knows what that man could have done to her. So you may be wondering about that random fact in the beginning. It occurs to us here at Tiny Black Panther Productions that everyone can use a little random knowledge, and we like to share ours. So if you have any random tidbits you'd like to share with the world, please drop them in the comments below. I'll read out some of those facts in future episodes at random. Please just be sure they're accurate. Thank you for joining us on Recently on Reddit. Please comment, like, and subscribe. All comments will be read and considered, as it's my goal to get better at entertaining you. Again, thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.